Let's try it again. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm John Morozic, Vice President, Academic Affairs here at the college. And on behalf of our President, Dr. Stephen Foster, our Board of Regents, a number of members that are here tonight, our faculty, and our staff, we welcome you to the spring 2019 edition of our White Coat Recognition Ceremony. You will note that at the back of the program you have the mission statement of the college along with the core values, and we attempt to live up to that every day. And preparing our doctors of the future is our goal here. And along the way, it takes a lot of work, physical and academic. We're here tonight to recognize academic state. Can you put up your hand? All right. So a round of applause for everybody from my state. That means you've come a long way for this ceremony. I appreciate that. The students that are here appreciate the fact that people take the time out of their day, midweek, to come and be part of the recognition ceremony. So again, thank you. We want to get moving on the program, and without further ado, I'll be inviting Dr. Robert Routh, Chair of Anatomy, as our next presenter and speaker. Dr. Routh.
We started late, and I only have 45 minutes for my talk. Dr. Friesen, you don't have to talk last so loud, sorry. We'll try ones. There you go. We're the try 4s and 7s, 8s. Y'all remember when y'all were try 1s? So I spoke to them earlier today. I always start off with every civilization has a way of using ceremonies to show changes in an individual's life. The Apostle Paul said, when I was a child, I acted like a child, but now that I'm a man, I put away childish things. I was telling them about an individual today, a man by the name of Inky Johnson. Has anybody ever heard of Inky Johnson? Inky Johnson played for Tennessee. You should go on YouTube and you should find him and you should read his story or hear his story. It's incredible. He had a severe injury at the University of Tennessee. He was projected first-round draft pick, multi-millionaire, and he had a bad hit in a game against the Air Force, and that ended his total career, changed his life. And today he does a lot of work in his community in Atlanta, and he motivational speaker, on and on and on. But Inky Johnson says that, and here was what I told y'all today in class I was going to tell you. He says that every time you want to take another step in life, that you want to rise up to the next level, every time you want to rise up, that is going to take a new version of you. It will take a new and a better version of you. The try 4s. Are you the same individuals you were when you were try 1s? No. Not even close. Try 7s? 8s? No way. So you're going to go through a metamorphosis. Welcome to your cocoon. This is going to be tough. It will require a new and better version of who you are. Who you are right now, there's no way that who you are right now is going to allow you to become who the try 4s are, who the try 8s are, and who some of our recent graduates are. Is that understood? So the white coat, for the families who are here, the white coat represents two things. Their white coat. Their white coat first represents the mantle of student doctor. Now for family, heavy on the student, light on the doctor. So when they come home and say, Mom, Dad, oh, let me try this on you. No. Unethical, not legal, don't do it. Hey, Bob, watch this. This is not good. No. So, but still a student, right? But it's like the Jews have with their bar mitzvah. A bar mitzvah for a young man who's 12 years old is to say you are not yet a man, but you are expected to begin to act like one. The mantle student doctor says you are not yet a doctor, but you are expected to begin to act like one. The second mantle of their white coat is responsibility. They have the opportunity to, and this is big for me because I was talking to Dr. Morozic about this, and there's a lot of emails flying around from the State Anatomical Board right now about use of cadavers. in modernity, in modern history, it's very rare even today for an individual to have the opportunity to study from a human cadaver. Galen, I mention all the time, who was the father of anatomy, he was a Roman. He was the surgeon to Commodus and Marcus Aurelius. You probably remember from the movie Gladiator. Well, he was their surgeon, and he was considered to be the surgeon to the gladiators. And him being the father of anatomy was never, not one time, allowed to touch a human cadaver. He was never allowed to dissect, never. So what you get to do is very, very unique and very, very much a privilege in the history of the world. We have about 100 Japanese who come here every April. They spend about $10,000 for 2 weeks or so, I don't know, to just study for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, but you get a year to do. 2 weeks. And they will fly all the way from Japan to do what you'll get to do for a year. And so that's what your white coat represents, that opportunity. And that this college puts as much money as it does into that building and to those individuals who now rest in that building tonight, waiting for you to study them. It's pretty awe-inspiring. And you ought to be very glad that you came to the Texas Chiropractic College. And all of us here, and I'll end with this, all of us are here to help empower you. For you? No, not for you. But for your communities, for the people who you will serve. And we take that responsibility very seriously. So, if you will please stand against the wall. And then if I can have Dr. Friesen, Dr. Moore, and Dr. Pena, my good friends. My good friends. Families, I want you to watch this as they put on the white coats, because I want you to remember this. From this point on, they will never be the same.
Elizabeth Barlow, Katie Chandler, and Hunter Steele. Patrick Slavonic, Cameron Alpers, and Randy Blackman. Angel Cifuentes, Riley Arnold, and Seong Nguyen. Tanner de Betancourt, Geronimo Castillo, and James Scott. Joanna Huang, Amanda Keppel, and Jennifer Doucette. Britton Bronson, Andrew Kim, and Valerie Huebner. Waldemar Bravo, Mohammed Barles, and Dorian Hari. Cole Wilkinson, Salman Ali, Ashton St. DJ, and Todd Atkins. Dr. Ross, the matter for you.
Are there any chiropractors in the room? Would you stand? And all those who are here at TCC, these are your new future student doctor colleagues. You want to give them a hand? Have a seat. Now we'll bring, who's this, Dr. Wyatt? Yeah. My good friend, Dr. Larry Wyatt.
Howdy. Howdy. Proper? Not so much. How y'all are tonight? Ready? Excited? Grandparents? Moms, dads, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, kids, got it all, right? Everybody came for a big ceremony tonight. This is a rite of passage. I started this. So this is like my favorite night of the trimester. Been going on for 25 or so years. Lost it for a while, but we brought it back. So for me, this is a very special occasion. And I'm here to talk to you about the second group, the trimester 4 students. To give you some background, what these young people go through is a triphasic education. They start out in the ologies, the basic sciences, which Dr. Ralph just talked to you about. They learn anatomy, right? Physiology, microbiology, pathology, disease of the human body. They learn all those ologies for the first 4 trimesters, right? And then after that, they move into what are called clinical sciences. And the clinical sciences are where they learn how to use their stethoscope, how to use a reflex hammer, how to examine another human being. And that lasts basically the second year and a half. And then finally, their last year and a half is spent in the clinic system, which we will talk to you about a little bit later. Right now, I want to concentrate on these people, the trimester 4s. Y'all raise your hand and stand up. Y'all stand up. This is the current trimester 4 class. I just spoke to them yesterday, I believe. You can sit down now. Stop hogging the limelight. I just spoke to them yesterday. We're starting to talk about the cardiovascular system, using a stethoscope and examining the heart and the lungs and those kinds of things, right? So I'm here tonight to present them their doctor's bags, right? Now, doctor's bags carry with them a symbolism. And the symbolism is that in that bag are the instruments with which we take care of other human beings. And I say this 3 times a year at this ceremony. You people, and you too, are not here for you. None of this, not a nanosecond of the time that you spend here, is for you. It's for people you haven't even met yet. People you don't know their names. People who haven't even been born yet. That's why you're going through what you're going through. Because at some point in the future, you will graduate from here, you will get a license, and you'll be a chiropractor. And you will take care of people who are sick, people who are ailing, people who can't put their socks on, can't pick up their grandkids, right? Can't play baseball with their son because they hurt their shoulder. This is a really big deal. Think about it. You have held, and now watch me do this correctly there, Miss Hanson. You have held, where's Ben? Is he here? You have held in your hands, literally, a human heart. And I'm going to teach you how to examine it. You know how many people on the planet have been able to do that? Very few. So you are privileged. You're exceedingly privileged to be able to have people donate their bodies to science, and you Be able to take what you learned in those classes, what you saw, what you held in your hands, and now take responsibility for another human being's life. And you are now entering that phase of your education. You've examined the humans from an anatomical and physiological perspective. Now you get to examine them from a physical perspective. Because they're not going to come to you because you're in pain. These folks don't go to doctors because they hurt. Most of you have been in pain in the last month, haven't you? Sure you have. Most of y'all been in pain in the last month? Of course you have. How many went to see a doctor? 3. Patients don't go to doctors because they're in pain. They go to doctors because they can't either do something they need to do or something they want to do. Quick story, an old man in his 70s. He'd had hip pain for a couple decades. Never went to see a doctor. Came to see me because he couldn't put his right sock on. He couldn't lift his hip up to put his right sock on. And he didn't feel like a man anymore because his wife or his grandkids or other people had to help him put his right sock on. So I treated him, a couple treatments. He was better, he could put his socks on again, and I hung the moon. He'd been in pain for 20 years. They come to you because their life is altered. Their activities of daily living no longer work the way they're supposed to. Your job is to fix that, and you start by examining. Right? And we're going to teach you how to do that. And better than any other chiropractic college in the country, mind you. Okay? So when you get this bag, understand this responsibility. It's not fun. It's literal life. So when we teach you, you learn, you absorb, you learn on your own. You take the initiative. Number 1, you show up. Number 2, you take the initiative to go beyond the minimum expectations for the people you haven't even met yet. Ms. Hanson?
Triforce, come join me at the podium, please.
By the way, you will get one that is probably not yours. They're not in order, so you'll have to exchange when you're done. Okay? And when you're
Dr.
done,
Wyatt, high fives.
when you're finished, and I high five, I don't shake hands. Formal, not so much. Stand down here when you're done, okay? So people can take pictures.
Stephen Sunday.
A.S. There we go.
Lincoln Steen. Alex Lim. Josh Ritchie. Mary Vo. Zach Ratchell. That was Zach Rochelle, by the way. Catalina Escobar. Ahmed Solomon. Marshall Harmon. Marcia Garcia Lopez. Daniela Carvajal. Gilbert Flores. Ingrid Padilla. James Red. Benjamin Karras. And Vanessa Vega.
Yo. Okay, don't sit down now. Take a picture, Mom. Take a picture, Mom. All right, so next up, I'll be back later for more fun games. Next up, granting scholarships. So I propose to Dr. Michael Shepard first. Is that correct, Christina? Dr. Shepard first?
All of us. All of us.
All of them? Dr. Shepard, Dr. Bundy, Dr. Finn, and Ms. Hanson. All right?
Good evening. So this is the part of the ceremony where we give out a bunch of money and recognize people for being awesome. So I want to start with our incoming students, our Tri-1s that we just coded up on stage. We have three. The first one that we're going to start with is called the Pathway to Excellence Scholarship. This is a scholarship that's based on the student's incoming coursework, a cumulative GPA. If they have a cumulative GPA of a 3.5 or higher on their pre-DC coursework, they qualify for this scholarship. It's worth up to $20,000 during their time here, and it's a $2,000 distribution every trimester. They just have to maintain a 3.25 GPA to keep it the whole time. So we'll start with these recipients first. Randy Blackman is first. Britton Bronson. Amanda Keppel. Young Nguyen. Our last Pathway to Excellence Scholarship winner is James Scott. This next award for our incoming students is called the Academic Honors Award. This is for students who have a CUME pre-DC GPA of a 3.25 to a 3.49. These recipients start with Riley Arnold. Our next recipient is Elizabeth Barlow. goes to Valerie Huebner. Our last incoming student scholarship is called the Sandra K. Hughes Book Award. Dr. Hughes is one of our vice presidents here at Texas Chiropractic College, and she's also one of our graduates. This award goes to Cameron Albers. These next set of scholarships go to our currently enrolled students who were already here before this group joined us last week. This first scholarship is called the Mole Scholarship. It's available for a trimester 2 through 10 student. It is a $500 award, and the scholarship goes to Kelsey Wade. The next scholarship is the Roden Calder Memorial Scholarship. This is also available for Tri 2 through 10 students. It's also a $500 award, and this trimester it goes to Jahan Baba. The next two recipients are receiving a scholarship that is provided by our newly formed 1908 Society. This is also available for our trimester 2 through 10 students and is also a $500 award. The first recipient is Emily Rush. Emily is not with us this evening. The second one is William Reapy. Is he here? The last scholarship that I have to present before I pass on the baton is a newly formed scholarship as well. This was provided by an anonymous donor. It's called the Other Education Scholarship. Because it's new, I will describe it for those students who are in the crowd for next time as well. This is a scholarship that is for trimesters 5, 6, and 7 students. They need to have completed at least 60 credit hours of their undergraduate work at either A&M College Station or A&M Galveston. So this is for those Aggies out there. And it is a $1,000 award. So, okay, so I just got latest news bulletin, you guys. For the first award, because it was such a newly created scholarship that we tried to make happen for tonight, there was not enough time for anybody to apply, so somebody actually was nominated for this first award, and we opened it up to A&M Corpus Christi as well, and Tri 8. So tonight's first recipient of the Other Education Scholarship goes to Kayla Gonzalez. honored award the Faculty Association Scholarship.
So the Faculty Association recognizes through scholarship a student who has displayed consistent academic excellence while in the program. This is not an easy program. Our professors test you and they push you. And as Dr. Wyatt pointed out, when you leave this program, you are not the same person that you are when you come in. And to recognize the consistent efforts of a high-performing student, the Faculty Association offers our scholarship. And this scholarship goes to Kelsey Wade.
So for our last award presentation, we have two of our graduates from the fall December 2015 class with us. We have Dr. Mike Finn and Dr. Shannon Bundy.
Hey. We were doing some math earlier, and as students in this program, you don't live by the calendar, you live by trimesters. The spring, the summer, and the fall, and it's how long until you graduate. And this would have been the start of our 20th trimester if we were to stay along that chronological order, which means that this is the first time that there is no overlap in the curriculum. So we get to look out as alumni on 10 trimesters of students that we were not in school with, and it's very, very cool to be able to see in ourselves the try ones. I know this is your second week. Try fours, like we've all been there. We were sitting over there and we remember. And Dr. Wyatt again echoed that you changed to this program. And we're able to see the change in students looking on the outside. And one day you will graduate. One day you will be a generation removed from the students. And it's really lifting to see how hard you guys are working in order to accomplish this goal. And approximately 10 trimesters ago, we were on this stage getting our diplomas. And after working for a year to be given permission to speak and establish this scholarship, and then after working for 2 trimesters post-graduation to be permitted to be involved in the presenting of this, TCC has graciously embraced this part of White Coat, because we kind of guerrilla warfared this, and it's really one of the lasting things that I think we've been able to establish as a class. Anyway, I've been able to present this for the last couple of years, and it means a lot. I was class president. That's how I was able to become the face of this. I also was one of the few who had the freedom to come back here on a regular basis. My practice is in North Carolina. I had a couple of patients this morning. My flight landed 2 hours ago. I take off tomorrow morning. I got a few more patients tomorrow afternoon. Itself sounds foreign, but the rest of all the students, you'll get there. It'll happen, and don't be surprised at how much fun you have. Dr. Shannon Potter Bundy held a pink balloon the day she graduated. That was the first balloon on the stage, and this is the very first time that I have the honor of introducing her to present the scholarship, and so I don't take too much of the wind out of her sails. For the first time in 10 trimesters, Dr. Shannon Potter Bundy.
Hi, my name is Dr. Shannon Bundy. I don't go by Potter anymore, but that's all right. I am the mother of McKenna E. Bundy, and that is the scholarship that we will be presenting tonight, the McKenna E. Bundy Scholarship. As stated before, I'm one of the alumni, and we started in the fall of 2012. I will never forget at orientation when one of the teachers used a very vivid imagery. They said, imagine you went to take a sip of water out of a water fountain and accidentally stuck your head in a fire hydrant. This is what chiropractic college is. I still to this day think that is the most accurate description of chiropractic college that I've ever heard. Schooling here is intense, to say the least. It's a full-time commitment for pretty much 3.5 years. It seeps in every inch of your life, never allowing you to mentally relax because you're always thinking about the next exam, the next quiz, the next semester, the next step. This college on its own is a lot for anyone to handle, and it is a monumental accomplishment. But unfortunately for most of us, there's a lot going on in our lives besides school. In the busyness of it all, life happens, and many are affected by sudden losses, unexpected diagnosis, financial crisis, and life-altering events, yet still try to succeed in this heavy program. Not just dealing with the pressure of school, but also with the weight of their personal world on their personal shoulders. Halfway through the curriculum, literally in Tri 5, I was studying for my final exams when I found out that my 2.5-year-old daughter drowned in a swimming pool accident. What once always consumed my world, which was school, now seemed so small and insignificant. It was hard to stay focused when my heart was drowning with my daughter. It was during this time that the kindness of my peers tipped me in a positive direction instead of allowing me to spiral and even drop out of the program completely. Many think that I created the scholarship in honor of my daughter, but it was actually a surprise gift for our family from our class on the day of graduation. This scholarship includes $1,000 and a pink balloon pin. The pin is a symbol of my daughter, but also many other things. It is a symbol of kindness, compassion, understanding, and recognition of whoever receives this award. The recipient of the scholarship should know when they wear this pin that their peers, teachers, family, and many others not only see their personal struggles, but are willing to step forward and say something. This scholarship has nothing to do with GPA, academics, leadership roles, extracurricular activities, or volunteer hours. It is simply about supporting your fellow classmates. The greatest thing you can do when someone is undergoing a life-changing event is to acknowledge their suffering. And that's exactly what this scholarship represents. Before I hand out this award, I would like the recipient to know that our hearts and the school's heart is with you now through this difficult time. May you wear this pin with pride, knowing that you wear the love of my life on your coat. I would like to present this scholarship to Austin Lundgren.
So congratulations to all of our scholarship recipients, our incoming students, and our current students. We're going to now invite Emily Plaza and Brian Valdez, our president and vice president of the Ambassador Organization, to do the induction ceremony.
Good evening. My name is Brian Valdez. Like she said, I'm the Vice President of the Ambassadors Organization we have here on Texas Chiropractic College. And tonight I'm here to recognize the new ambassadors of our organization. To all the family, the friends, the faculty, and administration in the audience, I welcome you tonight. As I say again, we want to welcome the new ambassadors of this organization. The TCC Ambassador Program was born out of a series of discussions among a number of former students. These colleagues felt that TCC would become a stronger, more vibrant school if students took the initiative to promoting our school, not only to other students, but in the Houston and Pasadena community. The group identified 6 personal characteristics they believed all ambassadors should possess. These 6 characteristics were charity, loyalty, honor, scholarship, character, and leadership. As an extension of the President's office, the ambassadors not only represent him, but are also charged with speaking on behalf of the entire student body. In this capacity, ambassadors serve as an extension to the admissions office to fill in a number of critical recruiting and operational functions for the entire admissions team. Finally, ambassadors make up the college's mentoring program. As one of the original missions of this organization, the ambassadors want to assist new students with the acclimation into their new roles as student doctors of chiropractic. Each student you see here on stage tonight in a few minutes is held in the highest regard as student peers, as student leaders among the TCC faculty and family. They have gone above and beyond to help other students as well as prepare themselves for a bright future in chiropractic. Now, Emily, our current president of the Ambassadors Organization, will explain what the leadership pin symbolizes.
Can I have the new inductees please come up on stage? The leadership pin you are about to receive is more than just a symbol to show others that you are a member of this organization. It represents the attributes that all ambassadors possess. Like the candles to be lit on stage tonight, each individual piece of the ambassador pin symbolizes personal attributes. The ivy, forever green, you will forever be an ambassador of TCC. The red torch represents illumination and intelligence, the 2 ingredients you will need to enlighten the path of those who will follow you. The white scroll represents the knowledge which will continue to be passed on through you throughout all time. The blue background symbolizes character and truth. It represents nature, and as a chiropractic physician, your connection to all other living things. And finally, the word on the pin, leadership. The gift of leadership is bestowed uniquely on each individual. Each of you were chosen from among your peers because you display these leadership qualities. Will all the current ambassadors please stand as we welcome our new inductees? It is my greatest pleasure to present to each of you a symbol of our organization, which will identify you as a member of the Ambassadors of Texas Chiropractic College. Now, if the ambassadors will please come forward as I call their name to receive their leadership pin. We're missing one tonight, so we'll recognize her first, Tamaran Adams. Daniel Caraway. And Deshaun Kennedy. Congratulations, guys. Next will be the academic excellence recognition. So can I have Dr. Morozic back up on stage?
Okay, we're going to go into the academic recognition portion. As you can see on your program on the inside page, we'll start with the Dean's List. And it's a fairly large list called by Christina. The name will be called by Christina. To get to the Dean's List level, on a 4-point scale of GPA, you have to attain a 3.5. So you can imagine that that's a fair bit of work and intensity in an already intense program. So we take this opportunity to recognize the extra performance in academics and attainment of the Dean's List. And Christina, you ready to go?
I am. Dean's List recipients, please come to the podium. Stephen Sunday. Alex Jones. Nathaniel Marcel. Michael Granetto. Calvin Chen. Francisco Vega Maldonado. Catalina Escobar. Kelsey Wade. Colleen Harmon. Benjamin Karras. Emily Plaza. Maddie Ruland. Jehan Baba. Austin Monso. Emily Sheep. Brittany Wooten.
I want another round of applause for all the recipients. All the members of the council. Just so they're not too surprised, that's an empty scroll to be followed by a signed document soon. And again, congratulations to them on all the hard work. Our next category is the Omega Psi category. To attain the Omega Psi category, one must have 2 consecutive trimester GPA averages of 3.5 or higher, and maintain a GPA average thereafter of minimally of 3.25. So it's consistent academic performance over time. Not to take away from everybody's hard work, this is a tough program, we've heard it a number of times. The fire hose metaphor is quite applicable. But it's hard work for everyone, but we do want to take extra time for this special time.
Alex in, please. Our other 2 recipients aren't here this evening.
Okay. You'll be awarded in absentia. That's just south of Chicago. That's my joke, that's pretty bad. And our next presenter, once again, direct from Hollywood, direct from back there, is Dr. Larry Wyatt and Dr. Corey Mann.
Oh, Luke, I am your father. Our worst fans tonight.
Okay, so, next up. Well, first of all, you should probably know who we are. You ought to know who you're paying for to educate your kids and grandkids. I'm Dr. Larry Wyatt. I'm the Associate Vice President for Clinics. I'm the senior faculty member here, been here for 33 years. Peace. Right there is Dr. Corey Mayan. Dr. Mayan is my Director of Clinical Education. He runs the educational program inside the clinic. And I will reintroduce Dr. Shepard here in a few minutes. So, we did the ologies, right, which you guys are kind of fitting to start right now. And we did the clinical sciences, right, give them their bags, let them listen to hearts and do reflexes and those kinds of things. Once they successfully complete that stuff, then they get to come to us in the clinic. And then we have two clinics. We have a student clinic and an outpatient clinic. Okay? The student clinic is where trimester 7 students, where are you? Raise your hand, 7. They're pretty happy about it. Where trimester 7 students get to work on other students.
Because we're afraid to release them on public. Until then.
Right? So we let them treat other students first. They're going to kill somebody who's going to be another student. Logical thing for a long time. Okay? So, that's what Dr. Mayan and his folks do. They train them in the student clinic. They learn how to do exams in an efficient manner and take care of other students' problems. They all these students in here have all kinds of musculoskeletal problems. We make them study all the time. All right, that's kind of how it works. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go through a ceremony. Dr. Mayan is going to tell you a little bit more, and he's going to introduce these students. And we're going to put white coats on them. Now, the white coat is a symbolism of doctorhood. You know, doctor, the word doctor means teacher. And our catchphrase, if you will, our purpose in the clinic is to educate, guide, and empower people and change their lives. So that's our job, is to teach them to educate, guide, and empower people and change their lives. We do that for them. They in turn do it for their patients. Okay? All right, Dr. Mayan, all yours.
Okay, so you've seen some really big milestones tonight. You've seen the Tri-1s get their lab coat, which is a big deal. You've seen the Tri-4s get their doctor's bag, which is a bunch of equipment that you have to figure out how to use. And now we're about to hit, I think, one of the biggest milestones in chiropractic education. We're going to coat the trimester 7 students. And you're going to see it's a short white coat, but it's a coat to symbolize that they are now treating patients. They're taking everything that they've learned and they're applying it to patients. Some people, in order to understand the gravity of the situation, we have to talk about what a white coat is. Some people have called it, a coat of honor, a coat of compassion, even some think it's a shield. It symbolizes purity, it symbolizes truth, right? And it tells the world that you as a doctor can be trusted. And I was thinking about that, and I do not like speeches, so I was thinking about what it means, and I thought to myself, well, what do I think a white coat is? And it came in my head, and I said, well, it's just fabric. All it is white fabric. If you think about it, fabric has no shape until you shape it, right? There's no meaning to the fabric until you assign it a meaning and you make it a symbol. Okay, so I want to share to you what a white coat is to me, and then hopefully you'll build what a white coat is to you, and you'll remember it for your patients. So in my hand I have a spool of thread, and I asked a couple students what this was, and they said a spool of thread, right? Because they're about to be doctors, so they're smart. So they're like, yeah, it's a spool of thread. And I said, no, I see an unsewn white coat. This is a white coat. And this symbolizes all the education they've had. I don't know if you know this, but they've been in more than 2,600 hours of classroom education to this point. Okay, that's a lot of classroom education. That's a lot of knowledge. So if you take every centimeter of this thread and you assign it to the information that they've crammed in from that fire hydrant, right? It's their responsibility now, with the help of the attending clinicians, to build their white coat. And if you look around, you look at the attendings, you see the attendings coats are a little bit longer. And I like to think that's because I'm continually learning. I learn from the students, I learn from the patients, right? And I'm building my knowledge base and applying it to my coat. Okay? So what I want you guys to think and remember is that this coat is for you to symbolize to your patients that you're ready for them, right? It's okay to make a mistake. We'll be here for you. But just work as hard as you possibly can. I'm very proud of y'all this week. The past 2 weeks, you've worked extremely hard. You've given me your best, and that's the only thing I can ask for. So I'm really excited to help you build your white coat. And with that, could you line up on the wall? And I would like to call some of our attending clinicians up to help me coat the new Tri-7s. Let's give them a big round of applause first. Dr. Henry, Dr. Zee, Dr. Thompson, Dr. Shepard, and Dr. Sweat this morning.
All right, we have Charnay Smuts, Austin Lundgren, Cecily Cantu, Kayla Day, and Abby Hunt. All right, we have Jennifer Shuckman, Tisha Jones, Sherman Harris, Lucas Ada, and Hugo Shukua We have Michelle Acero, Maya King, Simone Jackson, Nathaniel Marcel, and Mark Ahmad.
It's gonna happen anyway.
All right, we have Henry Pham, William Valdez, Hannah Zimmer, Alex Escamilla, and Dana Wynn. Okay, we have Rama Yade, Kurt Lufkin, and Courtney Finley. Okay, last but not least, we have Ruben Munguia, Paula Wynn, Oliver Serban, and Sohaga Muhammad.
Y'all can leave now. Stand there. I don't have any prizes for you. Actually, there's something else that comes before you. Just stand off stage. If I could get Austin Lundgren and the folks from the International Fellowship of Texas Chiropractic College to come up. They are next. There he is, young man. Are you walking around or using the desk? You're not walking? I walk. It's an exercise.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Austin Lundgren, and I'm the president of the International Fellowship here at TCC. Dr. Richard Broussard is our advisor. Our organization is dedicated to serving TCC through an appreciation of the diverse makeup of nationalities and cultures, both here on our own campus and in the profession of chiropractic medicine. As most of us here know tonight, TCC is a very tough program, academically, mentally, and even physically. I had a really cool little part in there about a fire hydrant, but we'll just leave that out. All we can do is pay attention, absorb as much as possible in class, and then wade through whatever is left at home after a long day of lecture. Now imagine if English was not your first language. There are students in this program who came to TCC able to read and write English, but not able to speak it well nor understand it perfectly, especially fast-paced, high-level medical terminology. Imagine sitting in mandatory classes all day and not understanding what the professors are saying, then going home to spend hours translating notes to be able to learn the material completely by yourself. These students might have even felt a little bit alone, not able to communicate as freely as someone speaking their native tongue. Challenges like these demonstrate the perseverance that is necessary for many students who undertake a Doctor of Chiropractic in their second language. After surmounting these challenges, I am sure that these students will be adequately prepared to compassionately care for any patient that comes their way, regardless of who they are. Tonight, we would like to recognize a few students who are not a native speaker of English, but have successfully completed the first 6 trimesters of class and are now entering clinic. We created a special pin for students based on the logo of our organization. The pin is shaped like a hand to symbolize chiropractic, and inside the hand are all the flags of the nationalities that were present at TCC when the club was established. We hope this pin will show our recognition of the drive and excellence demonstrated by our non-native English-speaking students. So now I will award tonight's recipients of the International Fellowship. We have 5 recipients tonight. Paula Nguyen. Dana Nguyen. Charlie Smuts. Ramaya. And Hugo. Ugo, I believe I do.
Yeah, that's what he told me too, Austin. Ugo Chukwu, I believe I do.
Thank you.
Congratulations. See why I like this ceremony so much? We get to give away a bunch of stuff. Make people smile, make people happy. Okay, so trimester 7 students, we just talked about them, right? They work on other students. And then the culmination, the epitome, the acme of chiropractic school education is to make it to the outpatient clinic. This is what y'all are, this is why you're doing what you're doing right now, right? To get into outpatient clinic. An outpatient clinic, they treat regular folks like y'all. People come in off the street with all kinds of problems, like I talked about earlier, and the interns then treat those patients. Now they treat them under the guidance of my attending clinicians. Right? These are licensed chiropractors who have committed to a life of service, if you will, and that life of service is to serve others. They serve their patients, and they serve our students and our interns. Right? So, Dr. Michael Shepard, Dr. Corey Mayan, Dr. Jeff Thompson, who's one of our radiologists, Dr. Mimi Sweat, Dr. Osi Pena, and Dr. James Zuniga are our attending clinicians, right? So, in the outpatient clinic, they each have a pod, and they have interns that rotate with them through those pods seeing patients. They've made it successfully through Dr. Mayan's work in trimester 7. Okay? So, trimester 8 students, where are you? Let's do this thing. Now here, instead of awarding coats, putting coats on, we award name badges, right? You'll see that they have their names on their coats, but they use their name badges when they do rotations outside the clinic. Not only do these students, while they're walking down, I'll tell you this, not only do they spend time in our clinic, but they also spend time working with medical doctors and athletic trainers and all kinds of other providers in an interprofessional environment. And then when they get to trimester 10, their last semester here at TCC, they spend time out in the field working with practicing chiropractors. We don't want them anymore, we're tired of them. So we get them out of the building, we get them out working with chiropractors in the real world, right? So these guys are just starting that experience. Ms. Hanson?
Thank you. Jane Mistry. Jonathan Macarino. Emily Plaza. Nathan Barrientos. Kyle Maynard. AJ Gutierrez. Vivian Monso. Austin Monso. Kyle Manning. Shelby Elder.